Dr. Jose Villalba, also known as the Tim Tebow of school counseling, has been changing the counseling field long before attaining his doctorate. According to Dr. Harry Daniels, Jose has always been full of enthusiasm and most recognized for his energy as a student and advocacy for the field. Dr. Sandra Smith recalls being a new faculty member at UF when she met Jose. He was outgoing and funny and made her feel welcome and more at ease. He helped Sandra and Harry with a research project and grant, which was a U.S. DOE grant to prepare school counselors who are Spanish-speaking. Jose was instrumental in helping them find the literature and frame the questions to guide this important work. She will always be grateful that he was there to help get that project funded. Sandra also remembers how excited Jose was when he proposed to his beautiful wife. She notes that he tells the story very well himself, but she recalls that Jose got an operator to stop a Ferris wheel when he and Rachel were at the top, and he popped the question. Sandra remembered how excited and nervous Jose was about accepting the job at UNCG. She knew he could meet the challenge and also knows how lucky UNCG is to have him here. If not working hard on some super giant, nationally recognized grant, probably funded by the president himself, or hanging out with his friends from Florida, you can probably find Jose at the concert of one of his favorite bands. Arcade Fire, REM, Vampire Weekend, Death Cab for Cutie, Kings of Leon, or some other obscure, emo, anti-mainstream group. Although he has his quirks, such as throwing around the term Catholic guilt a little too frequently and sitting cross-legged in a very bizarre way, Jose is an irreplaceable member of the tenured faculty at UNCG. Dr. Keith Man vs. Wild Mobley has been a mover and shaker in the world of counseling long before becoming president of LPC-ANC and single-handedly running the VAC Counseling and Consulting Clinic. Dr. Myers reflects on Keith as a student in the program by describing the essence of the student. She reports, Keith was serious and studious. In class, he always showed that he had studied and summarized key ideas in at least one surprisingly cogent spoken sentence. Keith was committed to service. As treasurer of the Upsline New Chi chapter of CSI, he set a new standard for solid fiscal management. Keith had all the signs of a successful professional. It was a delight to work with him as a student, and we are seriously fortunate to have him supervise our clinic. Finally, Keith was a superior student who seemed to always have life under control. In fact, he was surprisingly stable for someone in a highly stressful situation. Most students get a little crazy sometimes during the dissertation process, but he seemed to have superb stress management skills. Most notably, he's the only student I ever knew who took a course in canoe building while writing Chapter 2. Awesome, huh? Keith still keeps up with his ties from Augusta, Georgia, where he got his bachelor's in biology. When he is not running the clinic, you can find Keith biking, hiking, at the gym, working on his yard, or playing with his dog Earl. Earl is a huge part of Keith's life. However, when recently asked if his house was burning down, what is the one thing he would run back to get, Keith admitted it would be his Apple iPhone, but Earl would be a close second. Recently, Keith has been a little slack with his professional activities because of his newly found obsession with reading the Harry Potter series. Although a little late in jumping on the Potter bandwagon, he realized how critical the books were to his quality of life and overall sense of wellness, and now he cannot put them down. If only he could read them on his iPhone. Maybe there's an app for that. Dr. Kelly Wester, also known as the fashionista of CED, has been a dynamic addition to the counseling field since her days at Kent. Heather Tripal describes Kelly as a serious student who was the president of CSI and who won tons of awards. Along with her schooling, she completed several half marathons and a mini triathlon in the midst of her doctoral program. Heather refers to Kelly as goofy, brilliant, a quick thinker, creative, a great cook, a shoe collector, caring mom, and fabulous friend. Heather recalls several stories describing her time with Kelly. She remembered how Dr. John West and Dr. Richard Watts invited Kelly, Todd Lewis, and herself to co-present with them at the All-Ohio Counseling Conference their first semester in the program. They all said yes and were supposed to take the bulk of the presentation time delivering the content of the session. They arrived to a completely full house. Even their very own department chair had to sit on the floor. Dr. John West started them off, and then it was time for the three newbies. Heather says they went through their material so fast due to nerves and being new to the whole thing that they finished presenting all the content in about 15 minutes. Luckily, John and Richard were pros and got up and filibustered through it. Another noteworthy story was post-KSU when Heather and Kelly won a Chi Sigma Iota Research Award in 2005 for a study on bullying. They were celebrating the award with friends at a hotel and put the awards on the floor while they mingled. Later, each went off to dinner with a different group of friends. Afterwards, Heather called Kelly to ask if she had the awards, which she didn't. They had left them on the floor at the hotel. Thankfully, they were able to retrieve their awards, and every time Heather sees it on her wall, it makes her smile. John West said that he can still remember the shy young woman Kelly was when she started her doctoral program. At one point, Kelly helped him teach a course, and he remembers wondering whether her shy, quiet, and reserved manner might get the best of her while teaching. Little did he realize that once she found her way to the front of the class, Kelly would shine like a well-seasoned professional. He added that he may have actually been the one looking for a way to have a presence after Kelly started teaching. When she is not winning awards, teaching, or putting together the perfect outfit with matching accessories, you can find Kelly picking out baby names, shopping for a new pair of shoes, or hanging with her friend Chris Allen, who only won American Idol because Adam Lambert declined the honor.